Welcome to the Micheaux Mission, Two Men, One Podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Vincent Williams, and I am joined as always by my partner.
Hey there, partners. This is Len, aka the Bat Triple there.
And as you may have ascertained from Len's accent, no, he's not having some type of fit, and it's unnecessary to do a wellness check on him. He's actually getting in the spirit of Black History Month here on the Micheaux Mission. And Black History Month means Westerns. We're going to Again, it's okay. He doesn't need a hard candy. Nor does he smell popcorn. It's okay. We're going to start our month 1939's Harlem Rides the Range, starring Herbert Jeffrey, Lucius Banks, and featuring the screenwriter F.E. Miller, famously of the comic duo Miller and Lyles. But before we get to that, Len, I believe we have some business.
We always got business. I can't keep this up. We always got business.
Oh, thank God. I appreciate the commitment, but I really was hoping you weren't going to do that the whole episode.
I might bring it back for the review. But anyway, first, we always have business. And first and foremost, we want to thank each and every one of you out there watching us streaming live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. I see you all, Robert Monroe Jr., Miss Makiba, Deborah Battle, Aaron Fry. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Especially each and every one of you who are on the East Coast, where we were expecting tons of snow. They were calling for something like about anywhere from 6 to 10 inches here in Philadelphia. I think we maybe got 3 or 4. I don't know.
What a difference being across town makes.
Really?
It was insane over on my side. I was shoveling snow all day.
Really? I think we honestly got here, if I'm being honest, we probably got about 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, we were right at a foot.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you are up on the hill, Chestnut Hill.
Right. It was wild over on my side.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, bro.
Hey, man, look.
Well, wait a minute. I realized, because we were talking before the show, today is your son's birthday. Happy birthday
yes, it is. Yes,
to Adam. Didn't you buy him the celebratory shovel so that he can come outside and help you shovel?
No. My daughter came outside and helped for 15 minutes, and then she was sore. She got sore. Like she was sore.
So that was it. So she basically did the steps, and that was it.
Right. She was sore. She got sore.
Oh man. I know you cannot wait for that magical age. Let me ask you, because my father indoctrinated me into the world of shoveling, raking leaves, and shoveling, raking leaves. What else that did? Cleaning gutters, all that stuff.
Cutting grass.
That's what it was. Mowing the lawn. Yeah. I got inducted into that world probably about the age of, I think about 13 is when I started. And it all started with raking the leaves. Okay. So, which is to this day is the one thing I hate. I will shovel snow all day. I can't stand raking leaves. So right. What age have you earmarked as the age in which Adam will be given his turn to take hold of the that?
I don't know, because I must have been shoveling snow and stuff by the time I was 10 or 11. Okay. Because by the time I was 13, I was hustling.
Okay.
Like a day like today, I would have made some money.
All right. All right.
You
Well,
know, shoveling sidewalks and lawns were absolutely my hustle until I got a driver's license and got a job.
mm,
So,
mm.
certainly by the time I was and not to what is it? It's 5 minutes into it, so it must be time to talk about comic books. But but I distinctly remember like making mad dough and going right to the comic shop with it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't get my hustle on with shoveling snow like that, and I
Oh
think
my goodness.
maybe it's because like your brother, is your brother older or younger? He's younger. I mean, right. See, I had an older brother, so my brother was out there hustling. So I played in the snow.
Oh.
I played till like I was around, like I said, like about 12, 13 years old. That's when my dad said I had to start shoveling the snow and raking the leaves and all that stuff around the house.
The funny thing was just today, Wendy was teasing me a little bit because I was anxious. Like I wanted to go ahead and go out there, and she was like, well, calm down, like pace yourself, old man. But in my head, I was losing the day.
Exactly. That's right.
Like I need to go ahead and get on this so I can go make that money. Because in my house, I had to shovel my parents' sidewalk first.
Oh, okay.
But then once I did that, it was
then you can go. Yeah,
and you know how it is. It seems like it's waves, and I was in a wave of boys, so it was boys everywhere shoveling sidewalks.
Very true. Very true.
So you had to go ahead and get out there.
Well, we didn't. I didn't start hustling sidewalks till I was maybe 15, and even then, I just didn't. I never hustled hard like that. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't.
Yeah. Shoveling and cutting lawns.
Okay.
Those were my big pre-driving hustles.
So it sounds like you're going to be giving Adam his first lawnmower when he's like about 9 years old.
Right. Like
All right.
Get on out here.
That's right. You don't be sitting in the house. You're gonna come out here.
Get on out here, and not to say that I'm sexist, but my daughter has certainly not been out there like that.
Well, I mean, come on, man. Let's be honest. It's not necessarily sexist. It's just, I mean, there's certain things that just seems like it's the guy. Right, what the guy does. The guy takes out the trash. The guy moves along.
Plus, Camille was sore.
Plus, she gets sore. She got short. Very true. As Sharon Eldridge said, kids today. Indeed.
I know.
Indeed. And Robert Monroe Jr. said that snow days were money-making days. That is very true.
It was just money. It was just that money was out there.
That's true. We got some emails, Vince. We got
all right.
Listener mail that we have gotten from some of our listeners. And today's email comes from Matt Lambert.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
With a movie recommendation.
Okay.
He says, hey, y'all, it's February, which can only mean one thing. Only 2 months until Mother May I.
Oh, boy, how I hate your idea for Mother May I.
What do you mean you hate? For those new to the mission, in the month of May, we celebrate those Black films that, at least on the surface, we have a fair. They're probably going to be bad. They're probably going to be pretty bad, and thus we dubbed that month Mother May I Have Another one of those bad Black movies. And it seems to has become one of the most anticipated months of the year.
It is a missionary favorite.
It is a missionary favorite. Matt continues, I like to throw in an early recommendation. for 2004's You Got Served. As you might recall, this sloppy mess of a movie attempted to introduce its audience to the underground street dance scene in LA while somehow fumbling through a familiar and predictable storyline a la 2001's Hardball and similar movies of the era. Although it features some popular names for its time, I see it as a poorly written cash grab with terrible acting in line with other movies from that year. As I've written in before, 2004 was a big year for Black films written primarily for a white audience, most notably what I've referred to as the Big Three: Soul Plane, The Cookout, and Johnson Family Vacation, which we reviewed last year on Mother May I. If not for Ray, 2004 would be a total L for Black cinema. Would love to hear your take on this movie and that year. Peace and love, Matt.
All right.
Well, we've reviewed Soul Plane. We've reviewed Johnson Family Vacation.
We did.
Perhaps we'll get to You Got Served. We shall see. We shall see, Matt. We shall see what we can do about that. We actually have some plans for May this month, so stay tuned. That might be right in line with them. It's interesting.
But You Got Served is coming. They're all coming.
They're all coming, ladies and gentlemen. Not long after we got off the air last week, I believe it may have actually happened that Wednesday when our show went live for all of you to download on your podcast. The world of Black cinema and Hollywood in general lost another one of its venerable stars when the actress Cicely Tyson passed away last week at the age of 96 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Cicely Tyson, in a career spanning over 7 decades, was known primarily for her portrayal of strong African-American women. She received 3 Primetime Emmy Awards, 4 Black Reel Awards, 1 Screen Actors Guild Award, 1 Tony Award, which she won for The Trip to Bountiful, where she won the Tony Award, the Outer Critics Award, and the Drama Desk Award for Black Actress in a Play in 2013, when she was 87 years old, still bringing the funk, bringing the realness. She is very popularly known for being nominated for Academy Award for Best Actress from her depiction of Rebecca Morgan in Sounder in 1972. And she is also known for her portrayal of the title role in the 1974 television film, The Autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman. Cicely Tyson has been featured on the Micheaux Mission, actually only sparingly. I believe we only have reviewed her in one film, Hero Ain't Nothing But a Sandwich. But because of her lifetime of work, her name will definitely be in her career, will definitely be revisited along this mission as we continue on. And we share all of your condolences for her family. Any words you want to share on the passing of Cicely Tyson?
No. The only thing I will add when you talked about her winning the Tony for A Trip to Bountiful is just to sort of piggyback that, how she really worked until the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my favorite performances from her is in the past 10 years, where she played and I forget Viola Davis's character's name in How to Get Away with Murder, but she played that character's mother.
Yeah.
And every time she was on there, and remember, she's acting opposite Viola Davis. She was absolutely electric.
Yeah.
Like the first time she was on there and she talked about basically killing Viola Davis's father, who was abusive. It was magnificent. So yeah, it's a real loss. It's a real loss. I have to say, talking about programming, you know, for those of you who want to know how we do, so February obviously is Black History Month. April is Octavia April, so that'll be science fiction. May is Mother May I, but March is kind of a catch-all.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like you and I have a couple of films. I'm thinking my second film in March will be Bustin' Loose.
Oh, man.
Which is a film that might not necessarily be that great, but I have I have a lot of fondness for that film. And part of it is Cicely Tyson in it. So,
well, you just stole my second film from March. that was going to be my second. I know what my first film was going to be. We talked about that, but
right.
I was thinking about like going to Bustin' Loose because of Cicely Tyson as well. So you did. So you got it, bro.
You can find another one.
I will. I will. You know what? Hey, there you go. I'll do what have tons of people been waiting for us to do, and we just named it. So
Lethal Weapon 2.
No, Cicely Tyson wasn't in Lethal Weapon 2. But
or was she?
Oh Lord.
Every now and then you just have to say that to throw people. Or was she?
Anyway. But this month is Black Westerns.
You didn't finish your thought. You said you said you'll pick, and then they just named it, and then you didn't finish your thought.
Oh, I sure didn't. I'll choose Sounder.
Excellent.
There you go. And it'll be good because I've never seen Sounder.
Oh, interesting. I like Sounder.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about it. Never seen it, so this will be
like pretty sure that's Paul Winfield, Lil Kevin Hooks, Cicely Tyson. Yeah.
So there you go. Well, March is set. All right.
March is now scheduled. All right.
But it is February, ladies and gentlemen. It's Black History Month. And for Black History Month, we are celebrating Black Westerns all month long. I'm not sure if we went here last year because we did Westerns last year as well, Vince. But when you think of Westerns, is there a prevailing like image, or whether it be from a movie or television or what have you, that immediately comes to mind and resonates with you?
Probably just an open range.
Okay.
You know, just that. I mean, I'm not a huge John Ford fan, but like that John Ford open range, that widescreen expanse is what I think of when I think of Westerns.
Are you a Westerns fan? Do you like Westerns?
I don't think I do. Like, I was thinking about it today. I like little, I like the spaghetti Westerns. You know, I like Unforgiven.
Okay. So you're in Clint Eastwood town right now.
Right. You know, I like The Magnificent Seven, which we call that a Western. I guess it's really a Western, but it really is just Seven Samurai.
Right. It's a remake of Seven Samurai.
Like, you realize it's Seven Samurai once you see Seven Samurai, and it's, they just got cowboy hats on. Right. And that's what I mean, because even the spaghetti Westerns don't really follow the form. Like I like a veneer of Western.
Okay.
but I don't know
Okay.
if I necessarily like westerns.
Okay. All right.
How about you?
I I enjoy a good Western. I long ago, even before I learned about his problematic history, left the world of John Wayne alone because he's like, for a long time was like Mr. Western.
Mm-hmm.
And so the older Westerns, kind of like pick and choose the ones in there.
Right.
But there are more than a few that I enjoy. I love the there's this movie called the Gunfighter with not Charlton Heston. I just drew a blank on his name. The man. Oh, God, I don't believe I did this. I don't believe I went
like
here.
the man who shot Liberty Valance, of course.
No, I don't like the man who shot Liberty Valance.
Really?
No, I don't. It's okay. I don't really dig that. I don't really dig that. No. I like what's the one with Gary Cooper when he's got to find a posse because nobody will come to rescue him. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much at the end. My dad used to like Shane, so like I know Shane.
I didn't like Shane because Alan Ladd was short. He was too short for me.
Never thought about Alan Ladd's height before this exact second.
He was a shorty. I got to look up the film, the Gunfighter, because I got to pull that actor's name. I can't believe Gregory Peck. That was his name, Gregory Peck. Gregory Peck. In the Gunfighter, I was a huge fan of that, and then of course I like Clint Eastwood films and some of the more modern westerns. I'm a huge Tombstone fan. I could watch Tombstone I probably have seen Tombstone 20 times with Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer.
Right, but these are like you don't want to throw the P word around, but they really like these postmodern westerns.
Well, Tombstone is a Western, and thank you everybody in the chat. High Noon is the movie I was trying to think of. High Noon is the movie with Gary Cooper. What do you want me to do? I like it.
Hey man, look, all right.
You gotta make that face. I like it.
No, I don't really like westerns. So.
But you know what? It's interesting. The reason why I asked you that question was
like
because
Cat Ballou. Like would Cat Ballou count as a western?
Technically, it does. Technically, it does.
Cat Ballou. And
it has an Academy Award, at least nominated, performance by Lee Marvin in a supporting role in that film.
Yeah, see?
So, there you go. But the reason I brought that up is because when I actually first think of Westerns, the image that comes to my mind is the old Lone Ranger cartoon from 1966. Which was not a good cartoon. If you try to look at it now, it's not good. However, it had a different feel to it because the backgrounds were done with cutout cardboard, colored cardboard, and construction paper to give it a lot of texture, a lot of heavy inks in there. The intro was a lot of silhouettes of the Lone Ranger and Tonto riding across this blazing red and orange plain. So it was really atmospheric, especially for a 1966 cartoon. But I remembered it because I remembered it being because I used to watch it here in Philadelphia. It used to run on the Wee Willie Weber show. They used to run the Lone Ranger cartoons alongside the Batman and Superman cartoons from the 60s. And they always look like the Batman and Superman cartoons look like wild colors and the Lone Ranger cartoons are real atmospheric. But one day they played the intro to the Lone Ranger cartoon and it had this intense dialogue, this intense monologue at the beginning. And I was like, man, even as a kid, it got me stirred up. But when I went back to look for it, it's really dark. So I want to share for you, Vince, this monologue from the opening of this Saturday morning kids show, The Lone Ranger from 1966. Okay?
Okay. I've never even heard of this cartoon, so this is all very exciting to me.
Oh, wow. You never heard? All right. I'm gonna read this for you. I'm gonna read this for you. This was the intro to the cartoon.
Okay.
When the factories first began to send their pall of smoke over the cities, the farmlands of the East offered only the barest living. Americans turned their faces towards the West. They poured into the new territory by the thousands, fording the mighty rivers, climbing the mountains, fighting Indians and outlaws, praying, toiling, dying. It was a hard land, a hostile land. Only the strong survived. A new American breed, the pioneer. In this forge, upon this anvil, was hammered out a man who became a legend. A daring and resourceful man who hated thievery and oppression. His face masked, his true name unknown. With his faithful Indian companion at his side, he thundered across the West on his great white stallion, appearing out of nowhere to strike down injustice and outlawry, and then vanishing as mysteriously as he came. His sign, a silver bullet. His name, the Lone Ranger.
Wow. That came on like after the Bugaloos. That's pretty intense.
That's pretty intense for a Saturday morning cartoon. But it was crazy. But thinking of that is what got me to our question for the night, ladies and gentlemen, for all of you out there loving Westerns, because I began to wonder, Vincent.
Yeah.
If you were a cowboy.
If I was a cowboy.
What would your name for your horse be?
Probably Midnight.
Midnight, okay.
Because I have a black horse.
Oh, so you definitely say you would have a black horse.
I would definitely have a black horse.
Okay, and we'll call him Midnight.
Call him Midnight.
Wasn't that the name of Zorro's horse?
Was it? Maybe. That sounds right.
I feel like there was a famous horse named Midnight.
That sounds right. That sounds right, because I did like Zorro.
Which would count as a Western, I would think.
I was just about to ask you, would that count as a Western?
I think
any of the incarnations of Zorro.
I think they would count as Westerns. You would have
because I love Zorro.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for Zorro too. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. All right. Well, I was thinking about this, and I would name my horse Luno. Now,
okay.
Here's another story time with Len.
You are really into this cowboy thing, by the way. It's absolutely charming.
When I was a wee lad, I would had action figures, Superman and Batman and what have you. But my mother would never let me bring my action figures to bed with me when I went to sleep, because she wanted me to go straight to sleep. So I would kind of like just invent characters while I, in my bed, and I would just like act them out with my hands. So my hands would be Batman and Superman or what have you, right?
Okay.
So because your hands start to look the same, it's just a hand. So I tried to put my hand in like different shapes and stuff. So I came up with this shape here. I'll put it in front of the camera. This shape right here. And this was an alien horse who came down and joined the Justice League. And I named him for no reason at all. I named him Luno. I had no idea why I named him Luno. That's what his name. His name was Luno. He was an alien horse that had superpowers and could fly. Right?
Because why not?
Right. So In thinking about this question, I said, well, I got to name my horse Luno after when I was a kid. But I didn't know how I never wrote out Luno. So I wondered, how would you spell Luno? So I went on Google just to say, is there even a Luno out there? Guess what I found out, Vince?
Hardcore pornography.
Close. What I found out is that, one, you spell Luno, Luno.
Okay.
And I found out from 1965, there was a Terry Toon cartoon called Luno, which was about a white horse that flew. I've never seen this cartoon before in my life, as far as I know. But
or have you?
Or have exactly, Vince. Right there, bruh. Right there. Because that obviously sunk into my brain through osmosis when I was a kid. Somewhere along the lines, I saw Luno, and thus my horse, my alien horse, became Luno, and now my cowboy horse will forever be Luna.
And you know who voiced that cartoon? Cicely Tyson. And that's how we bring it all together.
Thank you. Thank you, Vince. That was 2 on time. We did ask the missionaries. You're insane. We did ask the missionaries that same question. If they had a horse, what would they name their? If they were a cowboy, what would they name their horse? We got a couple of responses. Ryan Smallwood said that he would name his horse Booker T, which I think is. He said it was the name of Vin Rame's horse in Rosewood, and he needs a horse like that. So I can ride with that. Gregory Green said, I would name my horse Pal, as in my pal.
Okay. All right.
I like that as well. I just saw Robert Monroe corrected us. Zorro's horse's name was Tornado.
Okay.
So thank you very much for that, Robert. And Van Everett said, I'm going to use the porn star name method to come up with my horse's name. So my first pet plus my neighborhood I grew up in. And thus his horse's name would be Max Tanglewood.
There you go.
Wow. Well, ask a silly question.
There you go.
You get a silly answer. Thank you, Max. And thank you, one and all, ladies and gentlemen, for indulging me on my little horse escapade.
Your cowboy journey.
My journey. All right. We've got a whole month of this, so saddle up.
Saddle up, speed.
All right. But right now, it is time for us to get into our review of Harlem Rides the Range.
Harlem Rides the Range.
But first, it's time for trailer talk.
All right.
This is when me and Vince talk about stuff that is going to be cut off the show while the trailer plays on the podcast.
So we don't get sued by Harlem Rides the Range.
There could be one lone survivor. It only takes one.
Get like a cease and desist from Herb Jeffrey's estate.
That's right. That's right. Hey, we gotta cover our bases here, Vince. I know I wanted to ask you something. Oh, Vince, do you like Popeye's chicken?
Really? Is this what we're going to do? We're going to talk about fried chicken? Is this what we're doing for trailer? Why, yes, Lynn, I do like Popeye's fried chicken.
Now, I know you're probably not a big fast food eater, but
Mhm.
when you do eat fast food, do you find that Popeye's chicken is your go-to chicken choice?
If I have to choose between fast food fried chickens, yeah, I think I would default to Popeyes. Yes.
Yeah, see, I don't get the love of
Wow,
Popeye's fried chicken.
we're doing this, huh? We're doing this.
I don't understand the love for Popeye's fried chicken. I got some Popeye's fried chicken this weekend.
We are really talking about fried chicken. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and like, you know, it's got like a real thick skin. Which it just don't do anything for me. It's not. I didn't find it super special. To be honest, I have had better chicken from the Corner Crowns chicken than at Popeye's chicken.
Okay. I was going to ask you, what is your preferred fried chicken?
I mean, honestly, to be honest, I don't eat a whole lot of fried chicken. So when
You're more of a watermelon man.
No, it's not a watermelon man. I prefer my chicken either baked primarily.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's just, you know, it's better for me because of my high blood pressure. But when I do find myself getting fried chicken,
which we are still talking about. Just two black men talking about fried chicken.
I find. Speaking of which, I only recently found out that the wings were white meat. I always thought the wings were dark meat.
Why is this happening?
And by recently, I mean 2020. 2020. Okay. I really just found out that wings were white meat. Did you know that wings were white meat?
You know what? I'm gonna go go along with you. You know my best friend Cliff. You met Cliff several times.
Yes, yeah, I have.
I'm pretty sure the foundation of our friendship, like when we start hanging out in college, is that we could get a mixed bucket, a mixed meal, because he likes dark meat and I like white meat.
Oh, so you would eat all the breasts and the wings.
So I would eat the breast and the wing, and he would eat the thigh and the drumstick. And that really was like the foundation of our friendship.
See, that's a good friendship. You know what? That's
so probably, I did know that wings were white meat.
See, I didn't know that. I never knew that.
All right.
It didn't bother me because my favorite part of the chicken is the thigh. So like I can eat thighs all day long, and that probably explains my friendship with Ariel Johnson of Malcolm Comics, because she is a huge proponent of Popeye's fried chicken. Like
you just gonna put Ariel out there like that, huh? Now Ariel is pulled into the fried chicken conversation.
Well, she loves Popeye's fried chicken. I mean, I didn't get it with her this weekend, but you know, like I told her that I had leftover Popeye's fried chicken. She's more than willing to come over here and get it, and it was only the snow that kept her from coming to get these like 3 Popeye's breasts that were here, because she's a white meat and I like the dark meat.
Fantastic. Nationally renowned entrepreneur, role model for black girls across the nation, fried chicken aficionado.
Bree 517 says, I love your freedom from possible stereotypes launched at you. Such brave men. It's not stereotype. Look, we like fried chicken.
Bree, I'm just riding with my partner. I'm just along for the ride.
I mean, look, we should be able to talk about our love of fried chicken. Hey, you know, I like fried chicken.
You know what I always think of, and I just forgot his name, the brother that they may talk to me about.
Oh, going to say Petey Wheatstraw.
It's not Petey Wheatstraw, but it's Petey Green.
Petey Green, right.
Petey Green, and remember that was his famous thing where he ate watermelon on his show, and talked about how free he was to eat watermelon.
Well, I'm telling you this right now, as some of you may not know, because I don't spend a whole lot of Black Tribbles news here on the Micheaux Mission, but in April, the Black Tribbles, for one weekend, we are actually going to be going for the record world's longest podcast. So for one whole weekend, we're going to be doing a live podcast. And actually, and check this out, Vince. When we signed the application, the record was 52 hours. So we were going for 55 hours.
Okay.
Since then, some little upstarts in East wherever USA did a podcast for 58 hours. So now we have to go for 60 hours.
Okay.
We're going for 60 hours, and one of the bits that we're going to be doing on the show, talk about running with the stereotype, is we're going to have a chicken wing eating contest.
Okay. All right. So there you go. We're actually on the other side of the spectrum, where it's not stereotype, we're reclaiming.
Sharon Eldridge says she's been a vegetarian for 20 years, but now she wants Popeyes.
Well, apparently Lynn has some leftovers, so.
I do. I actually do. Sitting here waiting for somebody to get them. I ate the biscuits, though. The biscuits are good.
Yeah, you ate the biscuits. Well,
I ate the biscuits.
There you go.
All right. All right. You think this is enough trailer talk?
I believe so. We can continue next week and talk about gold teeth or basketball or something.
All right.
Well, you just never know what's going to happen on Trailer Talk.
Exactly. All right. It's time for us to get into our review of Harlem Rides the Range.
Harlem Rides the Range. All right.
Hey, Vince.
Well, you're so busy talking about chicken, I didn't have my stuff up. You threw me off.
Hey, Vince, to you, yeah. Good thing. Good thing this guy doesn't go up on the podcast, because we put it out there in the Facebook group that the Micheaux Mission is very proud. We are actually being highlighted for Black History Month alongside some other great Black podcasts. We're actually,
and this would be like the first one that someone listens to.
We're being featured on Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, as well as iHeartRadio, as you know, great Black podcasts to follow during Black History Month. So it's very good that all of this took place during Trailer Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
All right, give me.
Harlem Rides the Range, a 1939 Western featuring an all-Black cast in this tale of a cowboy who helps his girlfriend's father defend his radium mine. Starring famed singer Herbert Jeffrey, Lucius Brooks as his partner Dusty, an array of other Black actors, including Flournoy Miller of Millers and Hines, who also co-wrote the script. Harlem Rides the Range is directed by Richard C. Kahn And the screenplay, again by Florney Miller and Spencer Williams, was the choice of Lynn Webb. Lynn, what would you like to say about 1939's Harlem Rides the Range?
Well, before I tell you about Harlem Rides the Range from 1939, ladies and gentlemen, which is available for you to watch for free on YouTube if you ever want to check it out, I want to introduce you, spend a couple of minutes talking about an unseen art form in movie making, but a very vital part in movie making, a very vital role to every successful film. And that, alongside with the director, the screenwriter, the actors, the cinematographer, the lighting guy, is the Foley artist. Now, what is a Foley artist, you're going to ask, ladies and gentlemen? I see you asking. I'm going to tell you right now. The Foley artist is the person who creates the reproduction of everyday sound effects that are added to films and videos and other media in post-production. These sound effects, which are named after the sound effects artist Jack Foley, which is where the whole idea of Foley artist came to be, can be anything from maybe the swishing of clothes or footsteps or squeaky doors or breaking of glass. Anytime you hear that stuff in movies, and this is dating all the way back to the days of radio, there is somebody that is artificially enhancing that sound, because more often than not, the microphones that are being used in the making of the film are not sensitive enough to capture those sound effects and those natural sounds. And being unable to capture those sounds, you have someone go in post-production and reproduce this to just give your film that much more of a feel of reality, a sense of reality, a sense of that you are in the world that they are trying to create. Okay. It's a very vital part of every movie making experience. Like I said, it dates back to the early days of radio, when they would have radio dramas and there would be somebody there creating the sound effects of opening doors and such, and they took that to the movies. And it's been happening since the movies got sound in the late 20s and early 30s, right? Why do I bring up the Foley artist? Because one of the things that the Foley artist would add to any film, especially a Western, is the sound of the clip and the clop of the horse walking along the trail. Even so much when the horses are running along the trail. And most importantly, when, as in every good Western, the white hat good guy and the black hat bad guy get the tussling and the wrestling and the punching and the kicking. That's when the Foley artist comes hard into play, adding all of the swishing of the clothes and the smacking of hands against flesh and hats flying off and feet kicking up dirt all over the place, just adding to the ambiance of the scene that you are watching. In a silent film, you're fine when you don't have that, because you don't expect to hear it, because it's a silent film. But in a film that has sound, more often than not, that just level of sound effects can make a good fight turn from, oh my God, look at them banging it out, to, oh my God, look at those wild swings at nothing. And that is what happens in the not one, not 2, not 3, 4 fights that happen in Harlem Rides the Range. There is swinging. There are strikes all over the place, man. Everybody is striking out, and there is a punch that somebody throws at someone from, it must be a whole human person away, and the guy goes flying out of the screen. He never hit him, and because there was no smack, there's no sound. Never have I missed a Foley artist so much as when I was watching Harlem Rides the Range. Don't get me wrong. This is from 1939. 1939, if you were a black actor at that time, you took whatever means necessary by way of equipment, location, and sometimes actors to make the film that you wanted to make. Okay, so you're not going in here and expecting that you're going to get Gone with the Wind or Citizen Kane, 2 other films that were made in around this time. That being said, I just wanted to hear the punches getting connected. That's all. In the good Western, I just want to hear the punches connecting. I want to hear the guns being shot. I don't want the guns just to be being pointed and then you don't hear them being shot because they realize, oh, we don't really have a sound effect, so we're just not going to shoot the guns until at the end when you hear the same gunshot about 20 different times. I checked it out. I listened. That's my one big nitpick for Harlem Rides the Range. And I wanted to lead with that to get that out of the way. Okay? Because at the end of the day, this is just the black actors of the day, leading with Herbert Jeffries, getting an opportunity to have fun on a black dude ranch. The story of where this film is made is even more interesting than the film itself. But you cannot watch this film and not at least in some way be impressed with Herb Jeffries, who was the lead of this film. He strikes a very striking figure, dipped in black with his white kerchief, his white hat, his white stallion that he rides across the range. From everything that I could find, he's doing his own riding on the horse. I mean, he is, he's accomplished, horseman in that way. This is I believe the 4th of 4 Westerns that he made at this dude ranch. He was making his name as like this singing brother, the singing cow brother. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's not a bad looking guy. He, can warble a halfway decent tune. He's not, I don't find him to be the most charismatic person in the world, but he probably is more charismatic than a lot of the other people in this film, except one who I'll get to. But I'm not mad at him at a time when Westerns are big in the populace. Westerns are very big in the early part of in the 1930s. They are big on the screen, where they be like the little the serial films that you have, like Lone Rangers and even Zorro at that time, or if they were just big long feature-length films. Westerns are big, and he's trying to give his audience, the black audience, their interpretation. Let them see that the cowboys did exist in these times as well, which we did. We all know about the stories of the Buffalo Soldiers and things of that nature. So I'm not mad at the brother at all. The story of Harlem Rides. I mean, does Harlem ride the range, ladies and gentlemen? No. It just means that there's black guys on the range. This is not a Western that's set in the middle of New York. It's set out actually in the range. It's formulaic in that, you know, Herb Jeffries is the big hero, even though I've never heard a cowboy named Bob, but his name is Bob. It's just came off a little weird. He's got his sidekick Dusty, who is definitely the comedic sidekick of this film, and he plays his role as much as he can. They've got the big bad. It's, you know, I got to take your oil rights and want to steal your land, and then, you know, you can just basically see like the mustache twirling on these guys. There's back and forth about, I'm going to take your land. No, you're not. Well, we're going to stand with you. Somebody gets framed for murder. How did he get framed for murder? Because he left the glove. I could go back and forth, but there's plot holes plenty in here, but it ain't about the plot holes. It's just about these people being out on the range, having a good time, creating a Western for people to come to the movie theater and while away. What? I think the movie's maybe 55 minutes. Including credits, just to have a good time and see yourself out on the open range. And to that I say, God bless them. This film was made at the Murray's Ranch, or sometimes called the Overall Wearing Dude Ranch, out in Bell Mountain, California. This is actually a ranch that was owned and operated by Noli and Leela Murray, two African-American business people in Los Angeles, prominent people in Los Angeles. They owned and operated this dude ranch for 20 years with as a place for, you know, people from the inner city to come out to vacation, to just have a good time. There was pools and tennis courts there for years. It read that in the 1920s, when widespread segregation limited the places that Black Californians could go as far as like private and public or recreational facilities, Murray's Dude Ranch was opened as a place for them to go to and just be free, just be one with their own people, and had many entertainers of the day that would come to the Dude Ranch, either just to vacation or there sometimes to even entertain. Lena Horne, Kate Smith, Joe Louis, Hattie McDaniels, Louise Beaver, and even Clark Gable at one time visited the Murray's Dude Ranch. So this was held territory where this film was made. And, you know, we review movies here, but I think it goes without saying that films from this era, just the fact that they made the films, just the fact that they dared to give us media that treated Black people respectfully, let us see ourselves in different lights, whether or not we are the villains, whether or not we are the heroes, whether or not we are the comic foils in these films. We are allowed to view the wide range of scopes and personalities that are illustrated in the Black community, even, yes, in the 1930s. And by giving you a little piece of escapist Western fare, I ain't going to judge this too harshly. I mean, it was cool. It was cool. It was 55 minutes of just sitting there and going back to another time. Was it greatly written? Not really. Did you get could you see that possibly there was a star on the rise in Herbert Jeffries? I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really see the charisma in the brother. I did see the charisma in one Spencer Williams, who played Mr. Watson in this film, and then would also played Andy on the Amos and Andy show on television, and as well was a pioneering producer and writer of note on his own. He helped write this film, produce this film. Mm-hmm. It ain't the greatest writing, but this is where you pay your dues and you get started. And so I'm not even going to judge him harshly on being here. It is what it was. It was fun enough. It wasn't a waste of time. Like I said, it was a time portal back into another day, another age, and it's cool.
Yeah. I pretty much feel the same. It's a snapshot.
Right.
It's a snapshot from 1939. Herb Jeffries, I will say this, you didn't mention it, and it's worth noting. It is an all-black cast, but the color politics are a little icky. Mm-hmm. As far as, Herb Jeffries is a tall, lighter-skinned man. Lucius Brooks is a shorter, dark-skinned man, and he is...
That's Dusty.
Yeah. That's Dusty, his sidekick. And the contrast between them doesn't age that well. But it's 1939. For his part, I think Herb Jeffries, much like you, he's made for this kind of role. Mm-hmm. He's a good-looking guy. He can halfway sing. As you mentioned, he does his own stunts. Like that's very much him on the horse. Florney artist? What kind of artists are they called?
Foley artists.
Foley artists aside, there are one or two of those tussles that Herb Jeffries looked like he was tussling.
Well, that's true, because he does jump off the horse onto and land on somebody. I will say that. That's true.
Like there's a fight out in the desert where they're rolling around, mm-hmm. where he looks like he's rolling around. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, I give him credit for that. Much like you, I appreciate, color politics aside, the wide array of roles that African Americans hold in this film. This is an all-black cast. So the sheriff is black, the owner of the ranches are black,
mm-hmm.
the
bad guys black, and light skin as well.
Black. Everybody is black. So I appreciated that. Much like you, I like the documentation of people like, as you mentioned, Spencer Williams. I've mentioned him before, Florney Miller. I cannot find anything to point to him, but I know Miller and Lyles, their big thing as a comedy duo was finishing each other's sentences. Mm. And we have referenced a bit twice. There's a bit that Mantan and Sleep and Eat do in Bamboozled, where they're describing something, but they finish it. I think that's a little bit too high. Yeah, how about that's a little bit too sweet. And we actually saw that bit, and I think Stormy Weather.
I think so, yeah.
And I thought that was Florney I thought that was Miller and Lyles. Now I can't find that, but I know that kind of real, quick patter back and forth is something that you want to say they came up with. It's the most famous version of that bit is Who's On First by Abbott and Costello.
Yeah.
But the bit I'm talking about is faster.
That's a lot faster because they, like you said, they're actually finishing their sentences, and Abbott and Costello is just rapid fire, but it is
and it's just rapid fire. And I like Florney Miller, like you, I like Spencer Williams. I appreciate that talent. Mm-hmm. So it's always good to see them in something that, even though they're not the stars, they're in it, and just for that alone, it's worth mentioning. As you said, it's 55 minutes. It's strange. It's strange to call Herb Jeffries, Bob Blake, the leading man, because there's no woman in it until 5 minutes before it goes off. which is always that's like it's always kind of weird to me about cowboy. Like to me, cowboy movies like that homoeroticism is like right under the surface.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those films where it's right there. Like there's a moment where Bob is singing a song in the in the bunk with the other guys, and he's singing this song, and oh, Bob, sing the song. And he sings the song, and he says, oh, I'll sing one song and then we'll all go to bed. We got to get up and work early. But like they all start undressing as he's singing the song.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it was just weird. It was just a moment that made me go, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And then, I said, when the woman shows up, like she shows up at the end, and it's almost like you can feel the script going. We got to get a woman in here somehow.
Well, it actually made me think along those same lines, because the woman that shows up 5 minutes at the end, she's foreshadowed earlier in the film, because when Bob and Dusty go to this ranch, Bob sees her picture in the ranch and falls in love with her picture, so much so that he steals her picture. And then all of the songs that he is singing throughout the rest of the movie, because he doesn't sing up until this point, but then after that, all of his songs we are meant to believe that he is singing these songs about, or in some far off way, to this woman who he is falling in love with just from her picture.
Well, except for the song I'm talking about, where he's very clearly singing to the men.
Oh, because they're talking about
sing us a song, Bob. And then, like I said, everyone starts undressing as he's singing the song, which I just thought was a strange choice.
I'll give you that.
So if you're looking for that kind of thing,
see, I wasn't going to judge.
I'm just, I'm watching it, and it's like, that's an interesting choice to have them start to disrobe as he's singing. Am I making that up? Like, is that not what happened?
You're not making it up. I just wasn't. I guess maybe it didn't resonate.
I don't want to spend a whole lot. I just wanted to point it out because, again, he is the leading man. And, back to our conversation earlier about cowboy movies and Westerns as a form.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that you see where they shoehorn this woman into the narrative, because otherwise, heaven forbid you think that somebody is gay.
Right.
So there's that, but it's harmless.
Yeah.
It's harmless.
It's harmless. It's Harlem, and it's riding the range.
It's Harlem riding the range, not to be confused with Harlem on the Prairie.
Right, which I'm actually,
which was apparently the first black cowboy movie.
Right, and apparently was even more of a musical, from what I understand. So
right.
This one has like about 3 or 4 songs, maybe 3. I think that one had a lot more. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I'm not, I don't know if I could have sat through like a whole musical. But yeah, but we'll get to it eventually.
We'll get to it maybe next year. Maybe next year. Like when you said that Herb Jeffries had made 4 Westerns at this ranch, I said, oh boy, we got stuff for years.
Herb's going to be with us for a long time here on the mission.
Interesting guy too. I don't know how much you read about him, but he's one of these guys that his racial background is just chaotic.
No, I didn't even get that.
Yeah. He's one of these guys like my dad is this kind of background, my mom is that kind of background, and they told me I was a lighter skinned black man, but this man was my adopted dad, and then when he was older, he said he was white. Like one of them dudes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know. I'm looking.
Race politics in the early 20th century is also fascinating.
Well, do you know what Herb Jeffrey's his birth name was?
I do not.
Herb Jeffries was born Umberto Alexander Valentino.
Right, because you said his dad was Spanish.
Yeah. He was his father, whom he never knew, was a mix actually of Sicilian, French, Italian, and Moorish roots.
What is that?
That's a mutt.
That's nice.
It's not nice. His mother was a white Irish mother. And his paternal great-grandmother was an Ethiopian with the surname of Carey.
Or at least that's what he told people.
Yeah, he described himself once in an interview as a 3/8 Negro, claiming pride in an African-American heritage during a period where many light-skinned black performers were attempting to pass as all white. But in marked contrast, Jeffries used makeup to darken his skin in order to pursue a career in jazz and to be seen as employable by the leading all-black musical ensembles of the day. All right, okay, all right.
So there you go. This is a nice spotlight on Herb Jeffries.
This is very, very interesting. This he's lived a lot. Oh, I gotta.
Right.
Okay. Later in his career, Jeffries identified as white for economic or highly personal reasons. Jet magazine reported that Jeffries identified as white and stated his real name as Herbert Jeffrey Ball on an application to marry Tempest Storm in 1959. What he told the reporter from Jet: "I'm not passing, I never have, I never will. For all these years, I've been wavering about the color question on the blanks. Suddenly, I decided to fill in the blank the way I look and feel. Look at my blue eyes. Look at my brown hair. Look at my color. What color do you see? My mother was 100% white," Jeffrey said, his blue eyes glinting in the New York sun. "My father is Portuguese, Spanish, American Indian, and Negro. How in the hell can I identify myself as one race or another?"
Herb Jeffries.
Herb Jeffries.
The tapioca troubadour.
Yes. But here on the Micheaux Mission, he's known as the sensational singing cowboy.
So, seem a little vague, a little squishy, but you know how we do. This is a binary question. Would you recommend Harlem? Wait, is it Harlem Rides again?
Harlem Rides the Range.
Harlem Rides the Range. Would you recommend Harlem Rides the Range? I knew Harlem was in there because it's black people. Would you recommend Harlem Rides the Range?
No, I can't. I can't recommend it. I can't recommend this film. It's a harmless film. So if you find yourself lucking onto it, ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Go with God. But I can't recommend you watch this film. I don't think that this film, for as harmless as it is, I don't find it either educational enough or entertaining enough to recommend for someone to go out and watch this film.
I agree with you. And this is why I think I agree with you. This is not the first or second black cowboy film I've seen from the late 30s, early to mid 40s. Now, I cannot put my finger on the films that I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I seem to remember them being better than this.
Mm-hmm.
So what I will say is this. Right now, I recommend it just because we've not watched a better film from the
this
late
period.
30s, mid 40s. That's a black cowboy movie. I suspect because we haven't watched any other black cowboy movie from this period. But I suspect as soon as we watch one, and I want to, like, I could have swore Oscar Micheaux made a cowboy movie.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I actually looked up in his filmography. He did not.
You are going to make me dig in my basement. I know I have some VHS tapes with some black cowboy movies.
And like I said, this is on on the DVD that I have this on. It is on a DVD with Murder in Harlem, which is an Oscar Micheaux film. So they're put together on a DVD. So you may have some DVDs that have an Oscar Micheaux film on it with another Western.
And the problem is they put Harlem in everything.
Pretty much.
It's black people.
Right.
Harlem in space. Harlem deep sea divers. Harlem at the opera.
Jungle Harlem.
Right. Jungle Harlem. Eating chicken. But no, I don't think I would recommend it either. Really, yeah. I would strongly suggest people look up some Miller and Lyles though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool.
So there you have it.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Before we tell you what we're going to be watching next week here in Black History Month as we celebrate Black Westerns, I and Vincent invite you all who are checking out the podcast to go tell a friend about the podcast, especially this month, because for Black History Month, the Micheaux Mission is featured alongside tons of very cool, very enlightening Black podcasts. For Black History Month, we are one of the featured podcasts on Stitcher Radio, as well as TuneIn and iHeartRadio. It is a pleasure and an honor for us to sit alongside those other podcasts that are being featured on those platforms. So look for our show, and while you're at it, go support another Black podcast. Go check them out. Support Black podcasts. Podcasting is quickly becoming one of the most vital media forces in the industry, especially in 2020, as everybody has been stuck inside. But if you believe the world at large, podcasting is only some white guy talking about stuff from his basement. So if you find a Black podcast, ladies and gentlemen, go support Black podcasts. You know, please do it.
God, and this is Lunchbox Talk.
Today, ham and cheese.
We're just playing, Todd. We love Lunchbox Talk.
No, we don't. So please do that. The Micheaux Mission is available in an edited form as a radio show on WPPM LP 106.5 FM Philly Cam. People Powered Media here in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. And you can also wake up with the Micheaux Mission every Monday at 9 a.m. on WKDU 91.7 FM, the voice of Drexel University. The Micheaux Mission is also a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com, curated podcast for your listening pleasure. Check them out. They've got cool podcasts over there as well. You can email all of your thoughts and concerns to the Micheaux Mission at micheauxmission@gmail.com. Micheaux is spelled MICHEAUX, MISSION. Like and follow the Micheaux Mission on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Subscribe to the Micheaux Mission on YouTube at Micheaux Mission. And if you really want to help the show, you can first go to your podcast platform of choice and leave us a 5-star rating and a review, because that helps people find the show. And you can go to our website, micheauxmission.com, hit swag, and check out all of the cool designs that we have there for your purchasing, because that helps us keep the show for free. All of those cool t-shirts and mugs and stuff brought to you by our good friends at TeePublic. Check it out. We've got a new Old West design that we just premiered this week, so you can check that out as well. All right. Okie dokie. Next week here on the Micheaux Mission, we move further up into the 20th century, ladies and gentlemen, and we stop at one of Vince's favorite years of all time. That's right. We're back in the 70s groove, and we're in 1974 with Vince's film featuring the venerable Max Julien and the ever sensational Lynette McKee in Thomasine and Bushride.
Although I think it's Vanetta McKee.
Oh, Vanetta McKee. Vanetta McKee.
You're getting the McKee sisters mixed up.
Hey. You know, I look and I see sexy, and I say McKee. Vanetta McKee in Thomasine and Bushride from 1974. A different kind of Western brought to you by Gordon Parks Jr.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. And we'll be reviewing it next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Until then, he's Vincent. I'm Len. And in parting, we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.